stomach in anatomical position. You should keep the fundus of the stomach on your thinner muscle and on ring finger pyloric end. Okay, and on which hand? Left hand. So this is how to hold stomach in anatomical position. You have to maintain an inclination from vertical plane to 40 to 50 degree. Similarly, you have to maintain an inclination from this coronal plane, again 40 to 50 degree. From vertical to 40 to 50 degree, again from coronal plane to 40 to 50 degree. This is the inclination you have to maintain. Now it has got two ends. This is cardiac end and this is pyloric end. It has got two sphincters. The cardiac end, here you can see this is the 1.25 centimeter abdominal part of the esophagus. Okay, so it is always attached with the specimen of stomach because here there is esophageal opening which is occluded by esophageal opening of the diaphragm. It is made up of, it is muscular. On both sides there is muscle. So when diaphragm contract, it closes. So this is only a physiological sphincter. Here no structural sphincter. But if you see the pyloric end, here you can see that there is a anatomical sphincter, clearly visible anatomical sphincter. From outside also you can see a sulcus around this sphincter. Okay, you can palpate also a knot-like structure here. So this is anatomical sphincter, that is pyloric sphincter. Okay, so two end, two sphincter. Now coming to the border, this is the right border, that is lesser curvature, which is J shape, and this is the greater curvature, which is almost C shape. Okay, so this is greater curvature, which is 25 centimeter, and this is lesser curvature, which is around 11 centimeter. So this one is more than double. Okay, now it has got two surface. One is antero-superior surface, which you can see, and a postero-inferior surface, which is lying on stomach bed. Okay, so two end, two sphincter, two border and two surface, all two. But parts, if you see, classically it is differentiated into three parts. Nowadays some book have some different classification, but classically as per Gray's Anatomy it is three part. If you draw an horizontal line at the level of cardiac opening, above this level there is an area which is always filled up with air. So this part is called as fundus. And if you draw an horizontal line at the level of pyloric sphincter, the part below it, it is called as pylorus. You may tell me, sir, pylorus is only that much. Pylorus actually holds the major part of the food. It is stretchable. The more food comes, it will become larger. When it is empty, you will see a small. So, fundus, body, pylorus. The pylorus again is divided into two parts, pyloric antrum and pyloric canal. This is pyloric antrum, this is pyloric canal. Pyloric antrum is stretchable. Okay. Now, if we see the peritoneal relation, along lesser curvature there is a peritoneal double fold which holds some gastric arteries or gastro-epiploic arteries. So this is lesser omentum, which is actually double fold of peritoneum. Again, at greater curvature there is a double fold of peritoneum, that is called as greater omentum. Here also you can see anastomosis of gastric and gastro-epiploic arteries. So these are two major false ligament. Apart from these two, towards diaphragm. Here you can see there is a ligament going towards diaphragm. This is gastrophrenic ligament. There is a ligament going towards spleen. This is gastrosplenic ligament. When we will read spleen, it will be called as lenogastric ligament, but now we are studying stomach, so it is gastrosplenic ligament. And transverse colon, there is a right colic flexure and there is a left colic flexure. Why left colic flexure don't drop down? Because from stomach to colon there is a ligament which is holding that left colic flexure, that is gastrocolic. So lesser omentum, greater omentum, gastrophrenic, gastrosplenic and gastrocolic. These are the 5 peritoneal folds or false ligament of stomach. Now peritoneal relation has 2 parts, false ligament and bare areas. Along the attachment of lesser curvature there will be a bare area, and along the attachment of greater curvature there will be also a bare area, because there are double fold. So this double fold, when it is meeting, there is some gap, a triangular gap. When these 2 folds are joining, there will be a small gap between the 2 folds. So along the attachment of greater omentum and along the attachment of lesser omentum, there is bare area. Now we are coming to epiploic foramen. Initially stomach was like this on a vertical midline. Now greater sac gradually enlarged, and so it is tilted. So this side greater sac and this side lesser sac. Now if you see here, you can see 2 folds of peritoneum. One is of greater sac and one is of lesser sac, bifurcating. So here there is a gap between greater sac and lesser sac. The communication between greater sac and lesser sac, that is called as epiploic foramen. Through this epiploic foramen you can see epiploic arteries are coming. Right gastroepiploic, left gastroepiploic, they are coming through this epiploic foramen. That's why they are named as gastroepiploic arteries. Okay. So at the base of this epiploic foramen there is a triangular gap, that is a triangular bare area. So it is also called as the bare area. So there are 3 bare areas along greater omentum, along lesser omentum, and at the base of epiploic foramen. So 5 false ligament, 3 bare areas. So total 8 points to cover while writing peritoneal relation. Now I am coming to visceral relation. Visceral relation is divided into 2 parts, anterior relation and posterior relation. Anterior relation will get 2 footnote or short note. First thing is, which are the things related? Anterior abdominal wall, rib cage, base of the lung, inferior border, then pleura, that is costodiaphragmatic fold. Then you have here some part of the diaphragm also, left crus. Then you have from this side liver, from this side spleen. Here below the fundic level, here there is transverse colon, and here are some calls of intestine. These are the structure related to anterior relation, anterior visceral relation of stomach. Now this anterior visceral relation have 2 clinical importance and 2 clinical short note. One is called as trough space. What is trough space? It is a tympanic area. Tympanic means you'll get a hollow sound. Okay. If we tap here, there is a hollow sound. If I tap here, there is a dull sound, because here there is something. So whenever there is air, it is directly related to anterior abdominal wall, and fundus of the stomach is filled up with air. So I will get a hollow sound. So it is a tympanic area which gives hollow sound on percussion, which is bounded by, it is quadrangular in shape, and quadrangular, it is bounded by superiorly base of the lung, to the right inferior border of the liver, to the left spleen, and here there is costal margin. Below costal margin, right side liver, left side spleen, and above lungs. Now you know that below lungs there is to some extent pleura. It may extend from 2 to 5 centimeter below to inferior border of lung. Here it is 6 rib, up to 6 rib is lung, but up to 8 rib is pleura anteriorly. So here there is, to some extent, there is pleura. Now in this pleura, if there is accumulation of water, it will be called as hydrothorax. If it is accumulation of blood, hemothorax, pus, pyothorax, in that case there will be a dull sound. So when this top space is obliterated from above, it may be hydrothorax, hemothorax or pyothorax. If there is hepatomegaly, it will be obliterated from right side, or this quadrangular area will be reduced from right side. If it is splenomegaly, this quadrangular area will be reduced from left side. So thus only by percussion, ये एरिया में percussion करके we can diagnose pleural accumulation, we can diagnose hepatomegaly, we can diagnose splenomegaly. Okay, don't have to go for USG, CT scan, MRI, all these expensive loads to the patient. Already he or she is suffering. Okay. Now, second short note from anterior relation, that is gastric triangle. I have told you here somewhat below. Here there is transverse colon. This is the margin of liver. This is the spleen. So here there is a triangle which is directly related to the anterior abdominal wall. We can directly enter here without injuring any other structure. Directly enter to the stomach. What is the utility? For organophosphorus poisoning, फार्मर सुसाइड में सबसे ज़्यादा यूज होता है, या फिर दूसरे एनी काइंड ऑफ ड्राई पॉइजन, वी कैन do stomach wash. We have to, if we wash any, how your water bottle is being washed, some water has to be entered and then some detergent. That is the process. So here what we will introduce some water as well as some activated charcoal. We will burn a bread if it is not available. Activated charcoal is also commercially available. If it is not available, we will burn a bread up to black, not up to white. Then we can put it inside and wash it through water, and then all these toxins will be absorbed by activated charcoal and it will wash out. So that it is not reached up to intestine. If it is reaching up to intestine, absorption of the poison will start. Okay. Second thing, accidental poisoning, some liquids are there. Thermometer, oral temperature you are taking, and teeth lag ke cut ho gaya. Mercury. Then there may be phenyl, which mostly appears like a milk bottle. ठीक है? This is accidental generally for child. बच्चे फिनाइल के बॉटल पी लेते, थर्मोमीटर चबा डालते. ऐसे केसेस में what will happen? This part will be totally of no use. So food have to be introduced from this gastric triangle. So you can put food inside or you can take out poison. form gastric triangle. Now posterior relation. In standing posture it is actually hanging, but when in recumbent or supine position it is lying on this bed. What is this bed made up of? This region behind fundus, it is made up of left crus of the diaphragm, then there is left suprarenal gland, then there is left kidney, in between there is body and tail of pancreas, and then there is left colic flexure. All these structures and these are separated by lesser sac of the peritoneum. Already I told you this is greater sac of the peritoneum, this is lesser sac of the peritoneum. All these structures are separated by lesser sac of the peritoneum. But greater sac comes like this and it envelops spleen. So spleen is separated by greater sac of the peritoneum. Only this spleen. And spleen is not a natural relation. When stomach is distended, when stomach is full, it will expand up to spleen. Otherwise, spleen not directly coming in posterior relation, but directly coming in anterior relation. Okay. So, what are the things in posterior relation, posterior inferior relation of stomach bed? Left crus of diaphragm, left suprarenal gland, left kidney, tail and body of pancreas, tortuous splenic artery which is supplying spleen, उसके साथ साथ tortuous splenic vein. Then there is left colic flexure, and there may be, this is transverse colon. Its mesenteric like peritoneal fold is transverse mesocolon. That also may go to the posterior relation. So these are the relation on stomach bed or posterior relation. Together you can say. Now we are opening this stomach to see the interior. On exterior, some other features are, we have seen borders and all those things. Now we have just seen visceral relation, peritoneal relation. Some other things are, here there is a notch that is called as cardiac notch. Between body and pylorus there is a notch that is called as sulcus limitans. That sulcus limitans goes along the horizontal level from pyloric sphincter. Pyloric sphincter के level से जो एक sulcus जाता, that is maybe this one, that is sulcus limitans, which limits between body and pylorus. This is sulcus limitans, which is almost circular. Then we are coming to inside. Inside the stomach, we have given an incision along greater curvature. So inside the stomach, these are gastric rugae. These structures are gastric rugae. There may be some horizontal or there may be some vertical fold which are not permanent. If I press, see, any fold, you just stretch it, it will be obliterated. So these are all temporary mucus fold. In intestine you will see permanent, but here it is temporary. This temporary mucus fold are called as gastric rugae. Now along the lesser curvature, there is a continuity. Here you can see two special fold. This one and this one. See, two vertical fold. This vertical fold actually indicates the limits of oblique muscle layer. So here it is being clumped like this by oblique muscle layer. Here there are numerous oblique muscle layer, but along the lesser curvature there is a gap where there is no oblique muscle layer. Here you can see clearly along this line there is no oblique muscle layer. It is going up to directly pyloric sphincter level. So this line, this vertical line on both sides indicates there is no oblique muscle. So what is the importance? Whichever thing is not required to be digested at stomach, empty stomach, I am taking water. no need to be digested, it will directly go to the duodenum. Empty stomach, sports, someone given me glucose water before running, है ना, देते ना, coach आके देते या दोस्त आके देते. So what is the action of glucose? Why you give glucose? Because it will directly go to the intestine and directly it will be absorbed, instantly it will give energy. No time. Otherwise food, generally food stays here for 2 hours. But glucose will not stay at stomach. It will directly drop into intestine, that is duodenum. So what is the route? What is the hotline? That is gastric canal. It is not entering into the baggy part where digestion takes place. It will directly go to the duodenum through gastric canal, from esophagus, hotline to duodenum. Okay, that is the importance of gastric canal. Now here are some glands, fundic region, there are more of mucinogenic glands. The fundic glands are having more mucinogenic cells, rather. Fundic gland have more mucinogenic cells. The pylori gland have more zymogenic cells, and at this line more oxyntic cells, because vagus nerve supplies from here through lesser curvature. So more oxyntic cell. The glands here, gastric glands near gastric canal have more oxyntic cell. All are gastric gland, but fundic gland have more mucinogenic cell, some oxyntic, some zymogenic. Here more zymogenic cell, some mucinogenic, some oxyntic. Here more oxyntic cell, some mucinogenic, some zymogenic. So predominance of the cells are different, but all are having 3 types of cells. What are the 3 types? Mucinogenic, watery secretion, zymogenic, pepsinogen, and oxyntic cell for HCl. Now in book you will see there is a rosy velvety appearance. You are not seeing a rosy velvety appearance here. You are seeing brownish appearance because oxyhemoglobin has been denatured. Oxyhemoglobin is red, but deoxyhemoglobin is not red, and denatured hemoglobin is also not red. So you are seeing a brown muscle color. You are not seeing the blood color here. So it is not pinkish. Now velvety. Those who are very near, they can feel the velvety appearance. Those who are in a distance will not see any velvety appearance, because the velvety thing is very at a micro level. Like some leathers are also velvety. That kind of velvety appearance you will get. Very microscopic level pe microvilli are there, and that is why it has a velvety appearance. So inside there is rosy, pinky, velvety, and presence of gastric rugae, and 2 special folds are there which are separating the baggy part from gastric canal and opening for gastric cardiac opening and pyloric opening. Okay, that's